She told investigators it was an accident, but prosecutors said the evidence pointed to something far more deliberate, and what happened inside this Michigan farmhouse would eventually split an entire family. This is the case of Linda Sturmer and her husband, Todd Sturmer, a story involving a troubled marriage, an alleged affair, a devastating house fire, and a courtroom battle that would return almost 2 decades later. On January 7, 2007, 42-year-old Todd Sturmer was found critically injured outside the family farmhouse in Lawrence Township, Michigan. The house had been consumed by fire, but investigators quickly realized the circumstances surrounding Todd's death raised serious questions. According to prosecutors, the night before the fire, Todd had discovered that Linda was involved with a co-worker named Chris Williams. Todd reportedly wanted a divorce, and investigators later learned that Linda had allegedly discussed the possibility of killing Todd with someone before the fire, including the idea of using a vehicle. Then came the morning that changed everything. Linda went to a gas station and purchased gasoline. After returning home, she sent her teenage sons away from the house. Shortly afterward, a fire broke out inside. Todd managed to get out of the burning home and into the yard, but according to prosecutors, the danger wasn't over. They argued that Linda got behind the wheel of the family's van and drove toward Todd. Investigators later reported finding Todd's blood on the underside of the vehicle. There was also evidence that became central to the prosecution's case. Gasoline was found on Todd's clothing, and investigators concluded the fire had been intentionally started. But Linda told a very different story. She maintained that the fire was accidental. She said she was trying to escape the chaos when she accidentally struck Todd with the van. The prosecution, however, presented a different sequence of events. Todd discovers the affair, talks about divorce. Linda allegedly discusses harming him beforehand, buys gasoline that morning, sends the children away, and then Todd is found outside the burning home. For prosecutors, those details formed a pattern. For Linda, they were circumstances being interpreted against her, and perhaps the most heartbreaking part of the case came after the investigation. The Sturmer family became deeply divided. Some of Linda's children stood by her and continued to believe her account. Others testified against her, saying they believed their mother was responsible for their father's death. In 2010, Linda was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But years later, the case took an unexpected turn. A federal appeals court found serious problems with the original proceedings, including issues involving her defense, and Linda was granted a new trial. She was eventually released while the case moved toward another courtroom battle. Nearly 2 decades after Todd's death, Linda faced the case all over again. In 2025, a second jury found her guilty on 2 murder counts, and once again, she received a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. Even after the second conviction, Linda continued to maintain that she was innocent. So after all these years, one question still hangs over this case. Was this a tragic chain of accidents that investigators misunderstood? Or was Todd's death the result of a plan that prosecutors believed had been developing before that January morning? The jury has now given its answer, but the Sturmer family may live with the consequences of this case for the rest of their lives. If you want more true crime stories where the evidence, family testimony, and courtroom verdict don't always tell the same story, follow the page and share this video.